So based upon what you've seen thus far, which counties should be more socially vulnerable?
Just point out.
Yeah.
The legend down here, lighter is less vulnerable, darker is more vulnerable.
Dade County.
So yeah, here.
Yeah, down here in South Florida.
All right, there.
Anyway. Over here in Texas, I think that's the Dallas-Fort Worth area. That is a big problem from a social vulnerability standpoint. Also, I'm not sure what this county is, but you know, you get the gist of it.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the last one, I promise. So this is the last slide. This is the top 10 that you just named, or try to point out to us, the top 10 counties that were affected by Hurricane Katrina that were most socially or economically vulnerable. And so, like y'all said, it was in South Florida, there was some in Texas. And as you see, it's mainly in Florida and Texas. So can anybody possibly tell me why it's not that vulnerable in Louisiana or things like that? Just trying to see. You don't have to know. What is one? Okay. So are all these counties vulnerable to hurricanes? Why or why not? All the top 10 that you just saw, are they all vulnerable to hurricanes? Yeah. Why do you say that?
That was on like the coast area, right, with the ocean?
Yeah.
So the ocean.
You've got the Dade County area is right there on the ocean, and the Gulf is basically huge water. So if we go back to the map, you look at it, and there's these two counties, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, all the way up here, basically at the top of Texas. Would that area in particular be vulnerable to hurricanes? Being that far inland? I mean, when you think about it, no, it wouldn't. So what other disasters possibly could you associate with being this far inland would have have to do with social vulnerability? So, tornadoes, stuff like that. A couple, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, Dallas actually had that huge snowstorm that moved through. And I can't remember the actual snow amount that fell. I think it was actually during the Super Bowl. But, you know, there was a lot of people who lost electricity when that happened. And if you have an elderly population that depends, like I said, on the life systems and stuff like that, and you don't have electricity, that's not a good recipe. So there's also, even in our area, we're not vulnerable particularly to, you know, obviously hurricanes, but the flood that Dr. Patrick was talking about. Things like that can happen anywhere. You can have huge, just rain systems that move through and sit down on top of you and drop large amounts of rain without letting up. We're in, you know, the tornado spot. Y'all probably lived here long enough to know that. But yeah, like she was saying earlier, there's a map of the entire country that they did at the University of South Carolina that lists the entire country's vulnerability. You know how the best, you know, California